Good morning. This is early morning here at Casa Daniel and at Vida180. I want to give you a tour of what happens on a regular day here at Vida180. We got here early morning, 5:30 in the morning, work begins, breakfast is being made. First, the group of young people that actually go out, have jobs in the community, they have breakfast early, and then they leave for work at 6:30, they leave for work, the other kids come, and a new batch of breakfast is being made. So let's go have a look of what happens inside on a regular day. Welcome here to Casa Daniel. Here we are in the dining room. The boys just finished breakfast. They're cleaning up the chairs right now. Let's go on through here. Morning, guys. Buenos días. Ya están limpiando. Maestro Gil. So let's take a walk through the kitchen. This kitchen, I see that they're already cleaning up from after breakfast, but we make over 4,500 meals per week. This is the pantry. It fills up all the way till out there, but it fills up 3 times a week. When you do over 600 meals a day, a lot of food goes through there. Anaí is the one that's in charge this morning, but she doesn't make breakfast alone for all the kids. She has help. I see the teenagers have left, but there's often mostly teenagers that help her with breakfast in the morning, serving breakfast here early. And so here we have, the girls are still eating breakfast. I always think it's so cute in the morning when everybody's sleepy and has a hard time even saying good morning yet. I'm the same way, but at least I got a coffee in hand. The whole make of our environment is that we want to have a thankful, positive attitude in the morning. Our staff have done a super good job of that. Get up in the morning and there's a great environment. The sunshine comes in, kids are getting up, excited about life, loving each other. So I really enjoy the environment here. So here we are in Santa Lucia. This is what we call Casa Alicia. This is the location in Santa Lucia. So let's go see what happens on a regular day here in this building. This is Casa Alicia. Welcome here to Casa Alicia. So this is Casa Alicia, and this is the younger kids are here. I see that they're just done with breakfast. Let's go have a look. Buenos días. Buenos días. Parece que están peinando muchos niños. So the girls' hair get combed here. They get ready for school. It looks like preschool. In this area we have the younger kids. Cleanup is just happening after breakfast. Buenos días, chicos. Alejandro, desayunando todavía. And this is the kitchen. This is where breakfast gets made for these kids here in Santa Lucia. At Santa Lucia, we have several different houses. We have what we call Casa Alicia, and then we have Casa Aguila. The girls sleep in this. The girls and the little baby sleep in this house, and then the other house, that's where the boys are. We're gonna go there next. From in the kitchen, let's go into the laundry room. I see that laundry is being done here right now. Buenos días. So these washing machines, they have to run all day, every day. So from the living room here in Casa Alicia, we walk into one of the dormitories. There's the dormitories for the little boys. See, they're getting ready here this morning. They all make their own beds. They've made their own beds here. All the little kids from young, when they just barely can, that's their first responsibility in the morning, is to make their own bed. So from the living room, we go up the stairs. This used to be the school, but now has converted into, well, there's still 1 or 2 classrooms, but other than that, it is converted into dormitories to have more space for kids. So this is the upstairs, Casa Alicia. One of these rooms here is still converted into a classroom. Kids aren't here right now, so we can come in. The technology area, learning about computers, also music and different things. That's a classroom that is still up here in Casa Alicia. And one of these rooms we already have converted into a dormitory up here where the school used to be. We have extra beds available because we have more space available than we have kids right now. And then we have another room where we have all the clothes, and when new kids come in, where we get to take new clothes out of, or clothes for them, or when kids need new clothes, and they come here and we get them the clothes they need. So coming out the second floor here in Casa Alicia, we come out to the outside patio. You see, this is Casa Alicia, where the little kids and the girls are in. And then we have Casa Aguila. The bottom floor is for the boys. the boys' dormitories, and the top floor is for school. We see kids are running into school right now. This yard gets played all day, every day. Soccer gets played there, and then we have the shop and we have the barn where there's some animals out there. So here we have Casa Eliseo. We have 2 different apartments there. That is for staff housing, 2 couples that are living there. And then here in Casa Aguila, we have 1 apartment for another couple that lives in there for staff housing here at Santa Lucia. This is Casa Aguila. This is the dormitory for boys. I see the boys are just gathered together. Buenos dias, chicos. Buenos dias, Gloria. We have dormitory space here for 40 boys in this area. There's 3 different dormitories. So here we come into the school in Santa Lucia. We've made some changes this year. We've actually built new classrooms, and as you can see, there's new classrooms put in right here. During this time of COVID, we experienced some things when churches had to shut down and schools had to shut down. So we changed the whole scheme of bringing the kids to a school rather than bringing school to the kids. So we have school here in Santa Lucia for the kids here in Santa Lucia. We have school in Casa Daniel for the kids in Casa Daniel. Works better, keeps the discipline with the parents there, so the teachers work more in connection with the parents, and we really love that approach. Let's go see some of the school that's going on right here, right now. In this classroom, we have Maria Elena Rempel. She's teaching the little kids, she's teaching Spanish. Let's have a look inside. This is the class, there's high school kids in here. Irlanda is teaching this one, and Irlanda is also our administrator for the whole school. In this corner, we have Kayleen Duick. She is teaching English to the kids, so let's go on in and have a look at that. So one of the major changes this year in 2021 was the restructuring of our school. We had issues in the beginning of this year because we did not have our school structured. We stopped the whole school, restructured it. We actually had a number of months more of summer holidays because of restructuring, because our school is not normal. We have kids that come here at 14 years of age and they can't even read, and then we have kids that grew up here from small and they're in normal classes, so it's a whole different style of school. But the major change that we made is we gave some of our most mature young people, we gave them the opportunity to be teachers while they study. So they are the ones that are middle school or high school, 15, 16, 17-year-olds. They are teaching the kids in the mornings, and then in the afternoon they still study and keep learning. We have 8 teachers like that, 9 actually, that are teenagers still studying and are teachers here. It's created a real good environment in our school. So here in Casa Daniel, we come from the dining room, we come into the boys' living room. So this is their open room where there's 3 dormitories down here, 10 boys in each dormitory with their own bathrooms, and then there's 4 dormitories on the 2nd floor. They have a very open view. It's very conducive to a friendly, light-filled environment in the morning. So here on the 2nd floor and the boys area, we have the 4 dormitories on this side for the boys, and then as I mentioned before, we brought the school to the home instead of the kids to the school. So we built in new classrooms here. There's one classroom that's going right there. One of our young people is teaching in this classroom. Let's go have a look at that. So as we leave this area, the boys area on the 2nd floor, we walk through this door and then we come into our playroom. It's a playroom, it's a youth room, it's a training room. This is the area on top of the kitchen. Down here we have our dining room, but it's an open area that we use a lot for training employees, youth events, different events that we have in this room upstairs here. So here we come from the play area, we come into the girls section of the girls' dormitories. Upstairs here there's 4 dormitories for 10 girls each in each classroom. Down here there's 3 dormitories, this is the girls section. And then at this end, on top, we have the classrooms that are built in as well. In the first classroom, we have Selena teaching. Selena is a good example of what can happen with children who've been on the street. Selena actually, and we've told that story before, some of you know about her. I think she was 14, around 6 years ago when she came in here. She was born to a prostitute in a home that was very dangerous, working in the bars, and just an extremely dangerous environment. So since her mom's place was so dangerous, she went to live with her grandma. And her grandma, it was a dangerous place too, because her uncles were assassins and they were teaching her how to use guns, weapons, and become an assassin. So she escaped and she lived out on the street. And when she lived on the street, eventually she was brought to an orphanage. And that orphanage was a very she didn't like it there. It wasn't the best situation for her, and so she had a strategy. It was interesting. She had a strategy with some of her friends, not the best strategy, but this is what they did. They said, hey, if we're going to behave so badly that they kick us out of the orphanage here, then we're going to tell the government that we want to go to Vida180. They had heard about Vida180, and that's what they did. And it happened exactly that way, and they ended up Vida180. Well, we heard that story a couple months later. But she grew up. She became a wonderful young woman. She went to work at Microtel when she turned 18. She worked there for a couple years, but this year she had grown, she had matured, she loved to be a teacher, so we needed more teachers, so she came, started this year, worked full-time with us here at Vida180. So let's go see what she's doing in her class. From the dining room, we'll go into the laundry room here. The laundry room is always busy. The kids have different times. Each dormitory will wash their laundry at a specific time in the week or a couple times a week, and they'll put one in charge, one or two of them in charge, and they'll do their laundry. These laundry machines are busy all the time. So as you can see, this was just a normal day recording what's going on, but what we did not see today, the different things like see a bicycle being fixed, and a dad of the house will help the boys fix the bicycle. He's training them. The other day I saw the bus wasn't working, and then one of our parents was fixing the bus, and he was teaching the kids meanwhile when a light bulb needs to be replaced. It is teaching, teaching, teaching. It is rescuing kids. It is teaching. It is healing. It is showing them how to get their first jobs and how to treat their bosses and how to work with each other. It is a whole process. But you know what? All of this cannot happen without you, the donor. I know we sometimes say that, but that's literally true. Sometimes I ask, what is the value of one's soul? Like, what would you value if you look at your own child and you would think, okay, if this child would go to hell, but if I could do something with my money that they would choose to accept Jesus and they want to go to heaven, for example, what would that be worth to you? Well, I've actually asked some parents that, and everyone says, everything I have. There is no monetary value. Well, what would it be worth to you if there was somebody out there in the mountains somewhere that you don't know and say, hey, if we would invest some money, we could probably save his soul. Well, what would you give, $1,000, $2,000? What's the value? Well, I know we say there is no value in a soul. Jesus, he died, he gave his life for every single soul. He loves each child this much. In reality, when we look at the value of the soul here, it's not the value, but you know what the cost is? We look at $3,000. That's what it costs us for every child when we look at the school, the food, the staff, the taxes on the staff, everything to run it. It comes to approximately $3,000 US dollars per year per child. So if you look at a child, you know, an average child will come in at 8 and probably stay here till 18. So an average child is here around 10 years, $3,000, that's $30,000. But at the end of the day, look, for half the value of a new truck, you can actually buy a soul. That's an interesting way of looking at it. There is no monetary value, but we can take our money, can take our finances, and we can actually buy or help rescue a child in eternity in hell. Most of these children, the vast majority, they end up in cartels or in prostitution, but the least of them, the very few that we ever see out on the streets, I mean, those are the few stories, but let's just say 99% of them will never know about Jesus, and they will never get saved, and they will not see heaven. But when they come here, that all changes. So we can say that with $30,000 or $3,000 a year, you can actually you can rescue a child from an eternity in hell to an eternity in heaven. So for us, it's the question, what are we willing to do? Jesus was willing to die for each one of these children. And so Jesus is also my Savior. What am I willing to do? How passionate am I about the ones that Jesus is passionate about? So how much am I willing to sacrifice for the ones that Jesus was willing to sacrifice everything for? And when I think of you, the donor, you know, we are doing this work here. We are crazy blessed. And I say we because guess what I got sitting right here at the table? I got two gray-haired guys. I am so honored. They're both younger than me, and they're both gray-haired. Proves that they're wiser. I get to be here. They're out there. Most of you know Benny Dewick. Benny, he's on the road a lot. He lives here in Mexico, helps, he meets with a lot of you donors in the US. And then we have Leroy. Leroy and his wife Karen are running the show in Canada, Vida180 Canada. He's actually the president of that organization. So he's been here with us right from the start, The first year when he started, he came here and he drove a wheelbarrow there when we built that first patio, right? Remember that? Gray-haired guy, good heart. He works with them, with the donors in Canada and all the legalities there. So as a team, this is what we do. This is what we're passionate about. But it happens because you are generous out there, and you have been the one that has been working for that money. You have transferred it here, and this is what's happening. What I read in the scriptures is that you will not be able to take Canadian dollars, neither American dollars. I don't either think you'll be able to take Mexican pesos to heaven, right? None of those go there. You won't take gold. Some of you got gold stacked away because we're living in uncertain times. You won't take any of that there. But the way I understand, if you have salvation and you get there, there's two things that you can take along. The way I understand the scripture, you can take along any act of love that you do, and you can take along souls. These two things will be rewarded out there, but not just a reward. Imagine if you take a soul, if you have sacrificed and you have given, and this child will be there in heaven. So let's say you have two of your own children. When you get to heaven, they will be yours. They will be part of your family there forever. But if you have paid for that these children can be rescued, the way I understand, they will be yours, just like your own children will be yours. They will not be their one-time reward. They will be in eternity there. So what we're doing, we're taking our Canadian dollars, our US dollars, our Mexican pesos, we are exchanging them for eternal value. That's what you are doing. That's what you are a part of. And so I want to encourage you, it's worth the sacrifice. When you look at this, it is not even a sacrifice. You look at the friends we're gaining. Sure, you know what? There is a lot of stuff we have to deal here with that we didn't show you today when we rescue kids. That often is not fun. There's a lot of very bad stuff involved with sometimes family members, sometimes some of the worst situations in town. There's legal stuff involved that I don't like to be part of, but we have to get involved in rescuing kids. When they come here, they've been on drugs. It is not a fun process. A lot of those things are not fun, but when I look, the sacrifice that we're making is not that big of a deal when you think of even the friends. A lot of you guys in the US, in Canada, that we get to know you and that you get to be, that you are part of this. You are like our family. The family we have here, the kids we have here. We had a wedding this year from our own staff here, and it looks like we'll have another wedding from our kids here shortly. That's a lot of fun stuff, rewards that we already have here that don't even compare. There's just no comparison, the sacrifice and the non-fun stuff that we have to deal with. But then we think of eternity and the value we're getting eternity, but it's just no comparison. It's like the reward just way outweighs the sacrifice. So you guys who have made this happen, your reward is being laid up in heaven. We are passionate about this. We want to see every single child in Chihuahua rescued. We have close to 190 children here now. We have room for 270, so we are aggressively going after 80 more. I know that we often say that there's 10,000 homeless kids on the streets of Chihuahua. That's what the statistics show. But we've looked at what we could actually rescue. We think we could actually rescue 1,000 of those 10,000. So that's what we're going after. Imagine the streets without those kids. Imagine heaven with those kids in it. You probably are part of this. Thank you so much for that. If you are not a part of this, you know what? This is one investment you want to be part of, because your dollars and your pesos are going to lose their value. This will not lose the value. So consider being part of it. The reward is here already, never mind for eternity. Come, be part of that.